Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
If attending via Zoom, please have your microphones muted at times when you are not speaking. All items on the agenda other than correspondence and board and staff member reports are considered items for which the board may take action. The public will be given opportunity to comment on action items on the agenda when the item is heard, and comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group.
Thank you. Supervisor Messick, can you lead us in the pledge?
Yes. So please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, Mary, roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez, Supervisor Blaser,
Here.
Supervisor Fuhrer,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Here.
Supervisor Messick.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, consent agenda, we are moving one item, 475, over to departments. So all matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be action items that are routine and can be enacted in one motion. Any board comment? Any public comment? And do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Okay. We have no presentations, so public comment.
Yes, any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we have received one card and we have no one on Zoom. The one person we have is Tony Farley.
Morning, Tony.
Good morning. Tony Farley, Hyde Park, Walton, South, Yuba-Sutter, South Story County. Here to thank the Chief County Administrator, Chief of Police, County Administrator. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Janet Bender. Thank you for your service for the lawyer stuff. the chairman, Don Blaser. This is to thank you, the baddest cowboy ever. John Mess. Thank you for your service. District 3 or 5? 5. No farmer cowboy. Gary Bradford, District 4, right?
Yep.
He's a Sacramentan guy. Sacramentan. He goes to cap like that event. And Seth Fuhrer, District 3, and he is a diversity candidate, diversity officer. Andy Vasquez, thank you. You're the former reserve deputy and Marine. I saw him at the VW hat with his uniform. And thank you, Rachel Lefeo. Thank you, Oscar, the SIP instructor. Thank you, Tony, the karate guy. Thank you, Dr. Liu. Thank you, Undersheriff. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, the Probation Department. And thank you, Tom Border, the Republican Committee guy over there. And thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tony. And do we have one more?
And none.
Oh, okay. County departments. Okay, all matters listed under county departments are action items, which will be considered and voted on separately. First, we have number 483, County Administrator.
Yes. Is this mic on? Okay. Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Kevin Mallon, Yuba County Administrator. So the item before you today is a letter response to the 2023-2024 grand jury report. So by way of background, each year the grand jury for Yuba County is impaneled. That the grand jurors will take a look at different areas of the county. It could be county operations, city operations, special districts, etc. They prepare a report. This year, the report covered 7 topic areas. And within the report, 2 of the topic areas, they requested that the Board of Supervisors respond to the findings that they made in those topic areas. So the 2 topic areas that the letter that was attached to the staff report addresses would be findings made related to operations at the Yuba County Jail, as well as the Sheriff's Canine Unit. So I'd be happy to answer any questions the board has about the letter that was attached to the staff report. If there's any additions, changes that the board would like to make to that letter before authorizing the chair to sign it and submit it to the presiding judge of the grand jury.
Do we have any board comments? No public comments? All in favor?
Aye.
No, a motion. Motion.
So moved.
We have a
Second.
motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next item is item number 466, Community Development Services.
Good morning, the board chair and fellow supervisors. Sam Bunton, Public Works. So I'll just provide a quick background and timeline for the project. This is for a letter of support for the Earl Road interchange and a grant opportunity regarding that interchange. Prior to the 1970s, what is now Northville Road and Lyndhurst Avenue served as the major north-south highway in Yuba County. And then in 1974, construction of the new State Route 70 Yuba County was complete along with the new Earl Road interchange at that time. Over the last 50 years, since then, the intersection at Earl Road and Lyndhurst Avenue has grown to be the worst level of service in the county, or a measure of the intersection's performance. The freeway also bifurcated the community, making access to jobs and services much more challenging. And then in 2009, a project study report was complete showing Earl Road interchange as the start of the future Goldfields Parkway. Today, grants are pretty hard to find for expansion projects or things like the future bypass, but there is a much higher chance for bicycle, pedestrian, and multimodal improvements. And this project is a prime candidate for that. Last year, we applied for basically the same grant program and just barely missed the cut. And so if we are successful in this round, this would allow us to work towards improving the interchange and ultimately saving the county development impact fees for other projects. Any questions from the board?
And
To the chair.
go ahead.
This is staff time only. There's no,
For the grant application, since we're basically repackaging the grant, the grant application would ultimately cost us about 10 to 15,000, but this would leverage millions of dollars for basically the environmental and planning stage.
Okay, thank you.
Any other board comments?
What would the final result, if we were to get the grant, look like?
So this sets us up and puts our foot in the door to really see what projects we can do. So this is basically the 2009 project study report that showed Earl Road interchange as the beginning of the Goldfields Parkway was very, I guess what we'd call like vehicular centric. And so this puts our foot in the door to not only analyze the Earl Road interchange for bikes and peds and those types of things, but also seeing what other traffic calming and traffic improvements we can do for the interchange.
So the $15,000 we're going to spend for the grant application is to get millions of dollars to do a study, but that's still not going to actually put a shovel in the dirt.
And sorry, through the chair. The first step would be looking at the 2009 project study report and doing like a supplemental document to really refine what we should be doing there. And then it would also get us through the environmental stage and really lay the groundwork for the final, engineering document. So it would get us through conceptual designs and all those types of things. But it is a very large project. Let's just, throw approximate numbers. A couple $1 million would get us a long ways towards seeing ultimately what we can do to improve that project.
Okay.
It would go a long ways.
And just an idea of what it would look like after all of the stuff is done, what would the actual changes possibly be?
So like the physical changes to the interchange? So
You're looking for something that is going to be designed. I don't understand the point.
Well, if we're going to spend $15,000 now so that we can spend millions of dollars later, so that we can spend tens of millions of dollars after that, I'd like to know what
$15,000 worth of staff time is used to provide a concept for us. I think that might be a better way to go for you.
Yeah, and to the chair, you okay with me trying to answer? That's fine. The physical improvements, they could look anything like, new turn lanes. It would even potentially look at roundabouts. It would look at like attaching a separate bike facility to the bridge. But the physical improvements would not be laid or would not be solidified until this part of the project was done. But it could be a number of things that physically get done out there. But the actual local dollars for this situation, usually the local match is like 20%. So we would be able to leverage with a couple $100,000 a multi-million-dollar project.
So Sam, you can clarify something for me. At one point, Goldfields was going to maybe go down and connect to McGowan.
Yeah, and I'm curious if Kevin or Mike can help a little bit, but they did look at the connection of 70 and 65 being the where the Marysville Bypass or Goldfields Parkway connected. Through the project study report, it basically determined that Earl Road would be like the interim measure. Now, by interim measure, that could be many and many decades, and that would be the easiest for us to connect to the Marysville Bypass. Caltrans, if I wasn't around during that time, but I don't know if Caltrans is a huge supporter of that, but I can't speak.
Caltrans is not a supporter of much.
Am I wrong?
So if I could, through the chair, just to provide some context, yes, Earl Road would be an interim, Earl Road interchange would be an interim connection for the Goldfields Parkway. The ultimate would be for the Goldfields Parkway to extend southerly, south of Earl Road to basically McGowan at 65, and that would be the ultimate connection. That's a fairly long-range plan. That also involves development of all of that land that's currently kind of a planning reserve designation within our county general plan. So we're looking decades out, but near term would be improve the Earl Road interchange so that we can handle the connection of Goldfields Parkway.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks.
And just one last point, I guess, to close out my comments on this one. So this would just put our foot in the door. I mean, Earl Road interchange definitely has its challenges. Like I said, it is the worst level of service in the county. From a traffic standpoint, definitely there's some pretty long times sitting at those lights. So this would really put our foot in the door to potentially improve that interchange.
Okay, any other board comments?
No.
Anybody from the public? And a motion?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion second. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? No. Thanks. Thanks, Sam.
While you have Sam up at the podium, Chair, would you like to hear 475? Because I believe he'll be presenting that one as well.
Oh, yes, we did move 475, so go ahead.
Good morning to the board again. Sam Button, Public Works. So historically, every couple years, the Highway Safety Improvement Program or the acronym that we use a lot, HSIP, has cycles for grant funding. Those can be a combination of state and federal dollars. And so in the past, we prepared two documents, which were more or less required as a obligation to go for these funds. And so that was the systemic safety analysis report and the local road safety plan. And basically what those showed is how we can implement road safety countermeasures to make the county a safer spot or safer place on the roads. One of the projects that was laid out in the local road safety plan was a sign audit. And so we do have aging infrastructure, things like signs that don't meet current standards. And there's definitely improvement for areas of the county where we can add new signs and those types of things as well. So what this grant does or allows us to do is basically go through the county all at once and with one fell swoop, look at all the signs and see where we can improve those. And then after the design's done, we also have money through this grant to actually implement and install those signs as well. So any questions from the board?
Any questions from the board?
So likewise, it's the cost of us applying for the grant is approximately how much?
So this grant, when we were doing the local road safety plan, we had a grant from Caltrans, I believe at that time, to do that plan. And we actually applied for this grant through that funding source. So at this time, this is to award the contract to the engineering firm. And so it's just administrative type.
Okay. And so then we're going to get the $400,000 from the outside source, the HSIP. That's going to be their grant to us. We're going to spend that money to count up and inventory our road signs. And then we'll then ask for more money to actually fix the signs.
And through this grant program, they actually funded the design and the construction or the implementation of the signs all at once. So we already have that money.
Okay. So there's not another stage to it.
No, there is not.
Perfect. And then the inventory of our current signs, that's not something we have. We don't know how many signs are out there or?
We have a rough estimate. During the beginning of COVID, we did our best to try to inventory those signs, and we do our best to keep track of them. This would not only allow us to create another GIS layer or something that we use to track our assets, but would also get us up to speed when we install the signs at once, because there would be a lot of turnover on those signs. So it would help us kind of set a new foundation for all of our sign assets out there.
All right. And then the signs, we're going to install some new signs. Great. The old signs, there's an anti-glare thing. Is that are we modifying all signs or just certain signs that there's a glare issue with, or what's that consist of?
So there is retro reflectivity standards or reflectivity standards. And so a lot of times we'll do like an anti-graffiti film as well, but this would audit all the signs. So if something's brand new and we installed it last year, there would be a chance that we wouldn't be replacing those, but a lot of the much older signs, and to get them up to current standards, to meet standards. Yeah.
Thank you.
I assume there's some limits probably as to the size and the visibility of signs. We have some signs that are pretty small. And if we could get, there's older people around that can't read them. So if we can, improve that visibility, that would help.
No, that's actually, through the chair, that's actually a great point. So one of the parts of the scope is to, during the sign audit process, to make sure they're all the correct size. If they need to be upgraded, like on the highway, usually the faster you're going, the bigger the sign is. So it would give us the opportunity to change all that as well.
Yeah, that would be great. Any other board comments, public comments? Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one left. Item 500, emergency services. Oscar?
Good morning, Chairman Blaser. Good morning, board members. This is the item that we have here today is a memorandum of understanding between the 9th Reconnaissance Wing at Bill Air Force Base and the County of Yuba. This purpose of this MOU or memorandum of understanding is to collaborate with Bill Air Force Base in the need if we needed to request a strategic national stockpile. Strategic national stockpile is a supplies that through the County of Yuba public health officer will request in an event of a public health emergency. We have depleted all our supplies within the county of resources in regards to whether it's masks, prophylaxis, antibiotics, and so forth. That request would be made through the EOC, the public health officer, and Bureau Force Base would be assisting in gathering those supplies and delivering them to us. And I would like to, through the board, I'd like to see you approve to recommend this, approve the MOU between us and Bureau Force Base.
Okay, just for me, can you just run through the basics on that? So it's a stockpile of emergency equipment or supplies, and how does that work?
So the Strategic National Stockpiles, they're stationed at many different locations in the United States.
Yeah, so this is coming out of the consequence of 9/11.
The what?
9/11.
Oh, okay.
So what happened is that we recognized back in 2001 that there is always a potential for bioterrorism. So it's weaponization. If you all recall, like the sarin attack in the Tokyo subway, those are essentially bioterrorism agents. And we do have state stockpile of antidotes. They're called ChemPack. But this MOU is very helpful in the sense that what if we have a massive bioterrorism event or even domestic terrorism event where we exceed that supply of our antidotes, and then we would invoke this MOU to ask for the assistance of Beale. But it could also be the opposite. If something happened to Beale Air Force Base, and then we have a ChemPack, and then they would ask us for our supply.
So the stockpile could either be in the county or at Beale, or?
So we have state stockpile, and that's actually at various hospitals. So that's the ChemPact, and that is at Adventist Health and Rideout. And then Beale Air Force Base to the DoD, they have their own strategic national stockpile. So SNS is a federal designation, and then ChemPack is a California designation.
So how does this change from what we're doing now?
It doesn't. This is basically a renewal. So it was basically many, many years ago, we had this MOU, and with the change in leadership, we had to renew this MOU. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Public? Any public questions? A motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, Mary, we have, if you could read off the ordinances and public hearings.
Yes, if you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group.
Okay, we have one item 496. This is going to involve opening a public hearing, and it's also going to involve at the end a roll call vote. So 496.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. I'm Rachel Abbott, your County Public Information Officer. I'm here to ask you to hold a public hearing, waive the first reading, and introduce an ordinance repealing and reenacting Chapter 2.160 of Yuba County Ordinance Code relating to county seal and county logo. So this doesn't change the usage that we've already laid out for our county seal and logo, but rather just updates our county logo. So this started with the strategic plan that your board adopted last summer underneath the communication, engagement, and outreach pillar. We identified a milestone of implementing a marketing and branding plan by 2026. And the first step in that process was rebranding. We partnered with a design consultant on this project, and that started with looking at our current logo, starting from there. So the importance of branding encompasses the identity and voice of Yuba County, showcases our professional image, and to unify all departments within the county, to cut down on public confusion with various county associated logos, and hopefully to present or promote a sense of pride within the community and internally. So we convened an internal rebranding committee made up of various county departments who are more public facing. And that included the county administrator's office, Health and Human Services, HR, library, sheriff's office, admin services, district attorney, probation, Yes to Yuba, and our friends over at the Yuba Water Agency. So the first two examples are some old logos and fonts that have been associated with the county. I unfortunately don't have any years of when these were used. These were found on kind of random swag items lying around. The bottom is our current seal, which will remain, and our current logo. And our current seal next to our newly updated logo. So our committee, when we started, really talked about, we looked at our current logo and thought, you know, what sort of image do we want to present? What represents Yuba County, who we are as an organization and as a community? And we kept coming back to our natural resources, most importantly, our waterways, of which we're proud stewards of. So as you can see, we really leaned into the river element and, of course, wanted to have a more friendly and approachable kind of outlook with our branding. Here's a couple other uses of that in our black and white versions, and at the bottom, a county department tagline. So each department will get their own tagline, which is a little bit different from our logo, but the goal is for us to all remain unified and look similar to each other. And this comes with a color palette. So our guidelines that we're putting together will lay out how the logo should be used, which colors it should be used with. And these have all been tested for accessibility in terms of our website and if people can read certain fonts on them. And the bottom ones are a little bit bright. Those are reserved more for our social media posts. As you can see here, these are some examples pulled from our HHS page. Next step. So I'll come before your board again next month, the next meeting. And once this ordinance passes, we will work on an internal rollout. So again, we mentioned branding guidelines, and that lays out specific ways that you can use our logo, fonts, colors. Again, accessibility is kind of at the forefront of all of this. It also comes with templates for letterhead, PowerPoint presentations, email signatures, et cetera, just to make things a little bit easier on everyone. And you will see this first on our social media pages and county website, easiest place to switch them out. And then, of course, physical swag items will just be phased out in a fiscally responsible manner. So just once departments run out of those, then and they need to purchase more, then we ask that they use the new logo. But until then, to just use what they have. So with that, I am happy to answer any questions.
So we're going to open the public hearing at this point, where we can do the board and public comment. So, board comments.
Chair, so basically the county seal has changed.
No, the county seal remains, yes.
That's a good seal. Really appreciate it. All right, that's the only question I had.
Through the chair, looks good. It's exciting to kind of have this unified messaging as far as the logo. Really liked some of the names of the colors too. That was really cool.
So at one point, a few years ago, the county seal, we kind of conformed that where all different departments or agencies or fire departments use the seal. Am I thinking of the right agency? Did we do that?
So I believe how this ordinance even originated was because of some issues that we had maybe with other partner agencies wanting to use the logo, but maybe distorting. So anyways, this ordinance outlines, proper ways to use our county seal and county logo. And that the original ordinance includes our current logo. And so this is just updating the logo.
Yeah, okay.
And
any other board comment?
Since we're letting the departments use whatever they have already, there's not going to be any other costs for implementing this physically.
No. So this is just administrative in terms of rollout. Yes.
Thank you.
Any public comment?
It does.
So we're going to close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
I'll move to approve.
And a second. Roll call vote.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blaser,
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We had a little bit of correspondence. Mary, can you touch on that?
Yes, we actually had 4 items. We have one, item 489-2024. It's a financial statement and independent auditor's report from Cordua Irrigation Districts, and it's for fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022 and 2023. Agenda item 503/2024, also a financial statement and an independent auditor's report for Feather River Air Quality Management District, and that is for fiscal year ending June 30, 2023. And the last one is 502-2024, and it is also a financial statement and independent auditor's report for Browns Valley Irrigation District for fiscal year December 31st, 2022 and 2023.
Okay, thank you. Now's the time for some board and staff reports. Andy, do you have anything down there?
Well, the Area 4 on aging increased the allocation for 24-25 to the existing. It was 77,000 over the 24-25, and it's going to go up to $427,000.
Thank you. Seth?
Happy Labor Day to everyone in advance. And not this Thursday, but the Thursday after, we have a community task force meeting over at Irma Jeans and Olivehurst, and you're all invited.
Gary?
Few items. So attended the veteran stand down on the 16th. I did have a conflict during the opening ceremony, so got there a little after that, but it was great to show up and show Yuba County's support for that great event, the support of our veterans. Back on the 15th, there was a SACOG board meeting, and yesterday the SACOG Executive Committee, which I'm part of, had a planning retreat for 2025, looking forward to the next year. So that was good. And back on the 17th was the Plumas Lake Block Party, the biggest event of the year. And there was an amazing turnout this year, and it was a really good time. So I appreciate all that staff did to help make that event possible. And also last Thursday morning at the South Yuba County Sunrise Rotary, I presented on multiple South County infrastructure projects in Linda and Olivehurst, Plumas Lake, and the Wheatland area. And I appreciate community development's help in putting together that presentation and getting me some updated graphics and slides and things like that. So that's it.
John?
Well, I survived another Brownsville Mountain Fair last weekend with just a major cut on my finger and couldn't walk the day or two after the 5K. But anybody that came up and supported, I'd like to thank you. Sheriff's Department won the rib cook-off, by the way. I attended Marysville City Council meeting last week. They had a presentation on Ellis Lake and different ideas. On Thursday, I had First Five Commission and then a North Yuba Water District meeting that evening. Thanks for rolling along smoothly there. And attended, I think it was Friday night, attended the Yes to 36 Initiative fundraising dinner with Gary and Andy. Were you there? Andy and Rennick was there. It was really some very inspirational speakers and a really good event. This Sunday, September 1st, is the Brownsville Blues Festival back in Brownsville. It's the 30th annual Brownsville Blues Festival. Last year, there was some technical difficulties and they moved it to Nevada City for last year, but it's back in Brownsville. If you guys don't have any plans, Sunday starts at noon to sunset. They're going to have beer, wine, and food and blues. That's it.
Sounds good. Janet, anything?
Nothing here.
And Kevin?
There we go. Now I got a green light. So just reminder, next board meeting, September 10th, we'll be presenting the board with the final budget. That's all.
We have an upcoming barbecue.
Yes. First, is Tiffany's back there. I don't want to get the date wrong. It's the first Thursday in October.
Oh, it's October.
October 6th.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, don't want to miss that. Mary, anything?
Nothing, thank you.
I don't have a whole lot. We had a taco festival, the highlight of which was a tremendous thunderstorm and rain for about an hour. It was something to see. But other than that, I think it went pretty well. So we're going to take a 10-minute social break, and then we're going to go into closed session, and we will return after that, and then there will be a recess until 1:30. So,
Okay.
Recording stopped.
Yes, sir.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.